All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to the Platinum class, as we always are here for the Platinum class on Thursdays. It is round 6 of season 14, and we are tonight at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, in the Montemayo neighborhood of Barcelona, Catalunya, in Spain. Welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix. And wow, well, I mean, most of the drivers are very well familiar with this track, but in Trinity Competitive Racing, it's been a while since we raced here. Not since season 10 have we been here, but we have raced here in preseason testing, just, as the real life Formula One drivers do. So a lot of the guys, a lot of the drivers here are very familiar with this track. It is a technical one, but somehow this week, we've had two absolutely action-packed and super eventful races in the silver class and the golden class, so let's see what is going to be here tonight. Welcome, everybody, and this is Blind Machine with you guys as always. I also want to bring on my co-commentator for tonight, another silver class driver, silver class podium attendee, so to speak. This is Mr. Chibar. Welcome. How's it going?
Hello, Blinn. Thanks for that introduction. I have been an attendant at the podium, but it's been left vacant in the past few races. Hoping to check back in. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to watch this race tonight. The silver and golden class have not disappointed at Spain, which doesn't have the reputation of being the most exciting track, so I'm curious to see what we see unfold tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, I wasn't expecting much action out of the golden class racer yesterday, but it was just everywhere. There was something going on at every point of the race, and silver, of course, had the rain in the middle of the race there. It pretty much lasted all the way down to the end. Positions were being changed. People were spinning all over the place. We'll see how it's going to be here in Platinum class. So far this season, I would say Platinum has been pretty clean. They've been very, very focused. They've just been trying to get to the end line, the finish line, and get those points. And of course, we've had a few incidents here and there, but overall, I think they've done a pretty good job. And looking at the board at the moment, we've got some quick times already. It's Seafreeze up into the 116s, a 116.988 to start us off for provisional pole. There goes B-Tom into second position with another 116.991, only 0.003 of a second.
Off.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got TJ not too far behind right now with the 117.248, about 0.3 behind, 2.5 tenths. Let's see, we still got 11 minutes of qualifying to go. Chibar, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges around here, and also what are some of the keys to success?
What is Spain without an A? It is spin. I think that's the key to this race, is to not spin. There's a lot of winding traction zones on this track that if you add a little too much throttle, it's really easy to spin back around and lose precious time on your lap.
All right, and keys to success. What do you think?
I think staying on the track, like I said, is one of them. That's a big one. I think it's really easy to spin and mess that up. However, I think picking your spots to overtake is another one. There aren't a lot of textbook overtaking zones, so you got to make them count when you get them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I love that saying. I think this one is for the history books. What is Spain without an A? It's spin. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to save that.
People like to also mention Spain without the S, which is pain, and that's what some drivers might feel after they spin.
Wow, we've got some great commentary coming in here from our co-commentators, some zinger lines, loving it so far. If you guys are already watching, thank you so much for tuning in to another TCR stream. We have passed 500 subscribers this week. Woo! Yeah, big celebrations. Congratulations to everybody, behind the scenes. There's so much work going on in the league. So first, I just want to congratulate you know, all of the stewards, all of the officials, all of the people that help us with our graphics, with our you know, video editing, social media, anything else, pretty much all of the guys that help out. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all the drivers, obviously, and a huge, huge thank you for your support to all of the fans out there. And if you guys have been subscribed for a day or a month or a year or 10 years, we appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. And here's to hopefully many more seasons and many more subscribers to come in the future. We're going to keep on growing. We're going to do different things. We are cross-platform already, which was something that we've been talking about for many years, but obviously wasn't possible before. And now it came so fast. It just kind of happened overnight. And now every single week we see people racing on a PC, on Xbox, on even cloud gaming platforms and things like that. So if you guys are interested, join us. Look at all the description links there. There's a link to our website where you can sign up to race with us. You can join our Discord channel. You can find our merch. You can, you know, find our link to our affiliate sponsor Fanatec as well if you're looking to buy some Fanatec equipment. Yeah, there's just so much going on right now. But on track, we've got a few cars. 007 Professional on the lap right now. He did a pretty good one, and he is about a tenth and a half quicker through Sector 1. But yeah, if you guys are watching again, thank you so much for already tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it out, leave some comments in the chat. Let's activate all of the YouTube algorithms and make sure that we get more views and recommend it out to more viewers as well. Hopefully that will help us grow the league as fast as possible. And other than that, yeah, I mean, Chibar, any notes so far? Anything you're watching and qualifying?
Yeah, so 500 subscribers, big milestone. While you're announcing that, Seafreeze extended his lead on provisional pole right now. He had a 9.8, now he's got a 9.6. And those hundredths of a second could be the difference between P1 and the second row.
Oh, Chargers has been disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous position. So that's unfortunately his qualifying done and dusted for today. But we're on board right now with B-Tom, and he's about to start a hot lap. He's currently in P2 and only about 30 thousandths of a second away from Seafreeze. Let's watch this lap from on board with your two-time Platinum class champion, B-Tom, as he is on his way on the long start-finish straight. This is the longest straight you're going to get on this track. Down into turn 1, down into 5th gear, and then right away you've got turn 2, and you got to get a good line here into turn 3, and he doesn't! He gets a little bit too tail-happy there, and he spins the car around. That's going to be that attempt over for B-Tom.
That's one of those winding traction zones I was talking about earlier, Blinn. Really got to be careful on those and not push too hard, or else that's exactly what will happen.
All right, we're switching over to Verstappen. Maybe we'll be able to complete a lap with him into turn 1 and 2. He kisses the apex there on the inside of turn 3 and turn 2 as well. Pretty smooth. Switching through the gears now and coming into turn 4, and that's a purple sector there by just 38 1,000th of a second quicker than he's done on his previous fastest lap. As he rounds his way up into turn 5, and this little curve of 6, and now we've got a proper corner here, a chicane of 7 and 8. Very easy to spin the car out, very easy to also get warnings, as we are running the strict track limits here tonight. Opens up the DRS on the back straight between turns 9 and into 10. And this is where it gets very tricky now. This last sector, it matters a lot. You can either win it or lose it around here. And people are getting out of his way now as he's now into turn 13. And now this chicane of 14 and 15. You got to get it perfect. Get the exit good on the exit there. And he opens up the DRS. He's going to cross the line. Good enough for P4.
Right next to his teammate, Professional, on the second row provisionally. I'm still curious what happened with Chargers. Was disqualified for parking on the track. It sounds like maybe he was trying to get out of the way and beached it or something. It's not going to help Ferrari in the constructors battle. They're P3 behind Mercedes and Red Bull right now. But this is just
Yeah.
qualifying. A lot of time in the race to make up those positions.
Yeah, I agree, but definitely doesn't help.
No.
So we'll see if they'll be able to recover. Right now, not too many people out on track. Bats is on a cool down lap. We've got TJ on an out lap. B-Tom has had that spin, so he's still trying to recover from that. I think he's probably going to pit on this one to change over to some better tires. But we are down to the last few minutes here of qualifying. I think there's about 3 minutes left or so. Yeah, 3.5 minutes to go. And so these guys are going to pretty much strap on a last set of soft tires. And they're going to go for it, give it their all, see what they can do. TJ currently sitting in P5 with a 117.044. Very close to Verstappen in P4 and Professional in P3. So as long as he connects a decent lap here. Oh, and he gets a little bit tail happy there. Third turn 1, still recovering. No, he doesn't. And he has had... Go ahead, sorry.
I spoke with TJ before the race on the record, and I asked for a few words on the race, and his thoughts were, God help me, and God was not helping him there.
Unfortunately not. Yeah, very tricky couple of corners there from B-Tom. Sir Charles was about to start a lap, but I think he just got out of the hand as well in turn 1 because he's eased off from it. Everybody's in the pits with 2.5 minutes to go. They're going to have to get out there pretty soon, or we're going to have a big queue of cars trying to start a lap.
Yeah, Charles starting on a lap now. Your teammate last season.
Yeah, Sir Charles, yes. But I think he had a little... Oh, there we go. Now he's starting a lap. Yes. Let's go on board with him. Let's see what he's doing here through turn 1 and 2. Pretty smoothly. Gets a pretty good run up turn 3. And now down into turn 4. He's just a slightly little bit slower than his previous son through that sector, but still keeping it nice and smooth. Let's see how he does here as he comes up to the chicane of 7 and 8. Oh, a little bit too deep. And yeah, I think he's eased off of that lap there. Seafree's still in the pits, feeling pretty confident with his 116.9. We've got B-Tom out on an out lap. TJ has just started a lap as well. And then B-Tom, Professional, and Verstappen all on out laps. B-Tom has just started his lap as well, or about to start his lap pretty soon. The graphics are glitching here tonight. It's saying that they're out on their out laps a little bit too late, and then it's not changing over. Oh, Stanley sets a purple sector 1 and then spins it up on the exit of turn 4. That is going to be his run over unless he thinks those tires can still survive, and he does have about a minute to make it down to the line. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Where is B-Tom right now? B-Tom is on his way through turn 3. This is where he spun it out last time. Keeps it relatively clean through there. Into turn 4, he is just slightly faster than he was previously on his fast lap. Seafree is still staying in the pits, so he's not coming out anymore. This is the best he's going to do. B-Tom up 7 and 8 into turn 9. Pretty nice and clean. Getting a little bit of a tow from an AlphaTauri in front of him into turn 10. That's another purple sector. That's about a 10th quicker than he's done before. He wasn't purple through sector 1, but he is purple through sector 2. And he's not far behind Seafreeze. He only needs about, what is that, 30, 50, about half a hundred?
Yeah, as Toaster sets an even faster time.
Oh!
B-Tom tops him as well.
There goes Beaton with a 1:16.729, and he's up into the pole position. 007 Professional is in the third sector right now. Can he possibly topple that? He's not too far behind. He's got a 1:16.963. He only needs a couple of tenths. Let's see what he can do here. Currently sitting in P4. Comes out of the last corner right now. Opens up that DRS wing. Crosses the line. And the graphic disappeared. He's second.
But I think he improved. Oh, wow. Good lap.
He's put himself up into second place with a 1:16.788. Exactly 61 thousandths of a second away from from Beatom, I mean. But it's going to be Beatom in the Red Bull on pole position. 007 Professional in second. Toaster in third. Seafreeze in fourth. Verstappen in fifth, TJ in sixth. We have Bats Plus starting in seventh. Just Jose is going to be starting in ninth with a new teammate here tonight, MRL Jacob in the McLaren in P9. And then we've got Stanley in 10th in his Aston Martin. That's going to be the top 10. Then we've got Dreamsy, Cali Rob, Sir Charles, Cam, and Chargers starting at the back of the grid after being disqualified from the qualifying session.
Impressive lap from Toaster. He's currently sitting P5 in the Drivers' Championship despite missing a race, so he's been in good form all season. I think he's someone to look out for.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's probably nobody you could really write off in this league. I was just looking at the roster again, and we've got so many champions. We've got a total of 5 Platinum Championships on the grid. We've got 2 Golden Championships and a Silver Championship as well. Everybody on the grid has won some races before. Sir Charles is also here tonight, so add another Silver Championship to that as well. How many does that make? We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different championships are racing here tonight. That is pretty damn incredible.
It's a very experienced grid. We get the pleasure to watch tonight, and really excited to see how they race each other.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for the drivers to pick their strategies right now. They are allowed to make very minor adjustments to certain aspects of the car. We are running the Parc Fermé, but there has been a glitch that has been happening in the last couple of weeks or so, I think, since the last patch came in, that even though you put on Parc Fermé, you can still make whatever changes you have. So instead of that, we are enforcing our own rules, and we're saying that you have to record your qualifying and the start of your race so we can make sure that you're not making any changes you're not supposed to. If you do, it's going to be pretty bad. You're going to get disqualified by the stewards after the race. So hoping everybody remembers that. For our viewers, we are at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain, and we are here for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're going to be running a 50% race. It's going to be 33 laps. Length of a single lap is 4.655 kilometers or 2.892 miles. 16 turns, strict track limits here tonight. The race lap record is held by Max Verstappen with a 1:18.1 back in 2021. And the TCR lap record is a 1:17.1 by STX when he was racing in the silver class back in Season 10, the last time that we raced around here. And I think we're about to go racing in just a moment.
I'm getting some reports that some drivers got kicked. I wonder how that may affect the start.
And the 5 red lights are off, and we go racing here, and let's see what sort of start they're going to get. Professional doesn't get a good start. Seafreeze is on the attack. He's going to come around him into turn 1. There's 3 wide behind him between an Alfa Romeo or Mercedes and a Red Bull as well. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. There's some guys going a little bit wide. We're going to keep an eye on that, but overall they're getting through pretty cleanly. Just Jose is attacking on his own teammate here. The 2 McLarens going side by side into turn 4. In front of him, there's a Mercedes and a Red Bull making contact. That is Professional and TJ. So everywhere there is craziness right now.
A lot of craziness, but all things considered, no major incidents, which is always a win on the finish line.
HVAC Toaster makes his way around 007 Professional up into P5 in a very ambitious overtake there, but it was very clean as well. Just Jose gets around MRL Jacob and gets a position up on him on his own teammate. Now MRL Jacob is battling it out with Stanley, and Stanley gets around him. Now he's got the two Haas's behind him of Cam and Sir Charles, and it looks like Cam is going to be overtaking Sir Charles for now for P10. At the front, Vitom is leading by 1.4 seconds on Seafreeze. Equals Verstappen in third, TJ in fourth, HVAC Toaster in fifth. And here comes Just Jose. He is going to move over to the left-hand side before turn one. He's going to try and make a move on 007 Professional. And he does make the move, and he's up into P6. And also at the front, Ecos Verstappen has gotten around Seafreeze in turn one. We have a yellow flag for Dreamzy, who has spun it on the exit of turn two. All right, Chibar, did you notice anything else from the start there? Any good battles or incidents?
I see a lot of drivers trading places right in the middle of the pack. Stanley, Cam, a lot of drivers still filing into place. And Stanley overtakes Professional. Can he make it stick?
All right, looks like he does, and Stanley is up into P7. Professional losing places here on the start. Not doing very good for himself. Look at the position changes. Verstappen, Seafreeze, and TJ have all gained positions off the start. HVAC Toaster lost a couple. Professional is down 6 positions. The biggest loser, so to speak, at this stage of the race. And then we have Bats Plus down 5 spots. Dreamzy down 4, and Cali Rob down a couple of spots as well. It looks like Seafreeze is battling it out here with HVAC Toaster. And he's back up into P4, and he's now right on the back wing of TJ as well. We've got some really great action going on here right at the start of the race.
Yeah, I'm seeing some reports. It appears that
Oh, sorry to interrupt. HVAC Toaster has spun it in a very dangerous spot here. The guys are going to have to get around him. Hopefully that doesn't cause any secondary incidents. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, tough for Toaster. I was really high on him entering this race. Just has to watch everyone drive by, but I'm getting reports that Jacob and Seafreeze seem to have been kicked from the lobby, so I believe those are AI driving their cars.
Well, that AI is doing pretty good. I mean, they're still keeping up. They're kind of making overtakes, attacking. Hopefully they'll be able to get back into the lobby. But yeah, that is very frustrating as we have another spin. It's Chargers. Chargers in the Ferrari having a little bit of a spin on the exit of turn 10, I think that was. Or turn 12, somewhere around there. Yeah, turn 11 or 10. Having just a little bit too much throttle on the exit of the corner. And yeah, these new cars on this new handling model, they're so easy to spin.
I've noticed Cam is the only driver to start on the softs today, which is interesting strategy. Medium to hard, or the opposite, is the most common strategy drivers would go for. But it seems to be paying off as Cam is up 7 positions, the biggest gainer thus far.
And Jacob is letting us know in the chat that he is unable to get back into the session, which is extremely unfortunate. I mean, sounds like Codemasters and EA still have a couple of things to figure out on this cross-platform situation. A lot of drivers were also complaining for the last couple of weeks that connection quality has deteriorated since we switched over to cross-platform. If anybody from EA or Codemasters is going to listen to this, please check that out. See if there's anything that can be done about that, because we're kind of having some slight glitches here. I gotta say though, overall, all things considered, this year's glitches are not that kind of critical as we've had in previous games. We've had some really bad ones where you start on, -1 Kelvin tires at the start of the race. What else did we have? We had you get stuck in the pits after a change of tires. Like, we've had some really bad ones in previous years. The ones we have so far right now is the park Ferme not working and the formation lap not working properly. That's not too bad.
Yeah, relatively speaking, those are things you can work around, and I guess Codemasters probably chalk it up to new regulations. A lot of learning curve when there's new cars on the track, but yeah, hopefully they can figure it out and clear up some of these issues. There was an issue in the Golden Class race last night of a driver just completely not seeing another car that was next to him. So hopefully they'll work on this back at EA.
Oh, and this is going to be a move from Sir Charles on 007 Professional into turn 10. They're still side by side. Professional is holding on to it. I think he might be able to hold on to the position for now. They're still side by side, but there it goes. 007 Professional just a little bit ahead. And yeah, but wow. Sir Charles got some really good pace here tonight.
Yeah, concedes the position, but gets DRS, so he's not out of this battle just yet. Season 12 Golden Champion, Season 12 Silver Champion, current Golden driver, reserving in Platinum, holding his own very nicely.
As we just watched Stanley getting around Seafreeze up into P5. They're both on the medium tires, but I think Seafreeze is just... Oh, and somebody's off. Somebody's off in front of them. Who was that? Is that Chargers? No, it's not Chargers.
Oh, I think it's the Toaster AI.
Oh, yeah,
Toaster
he was way off into the gravel. Yeah, that caught me off guard. I thought it was an actual driver going off, missing the corner, because there's just gravel flying up everywhere. But yeah, it looks like that was just the AI of Toaster as we go back to watching this battle between Sir Charles and 007 Professional. At the front, as we kind of check in to let you know what's going on there, B-Tom is leading by 2.6 seconds in his Red Bull. Verstappen is in second place. We have TJ in third, about 2.2 seconds behind Verstappen. Just Jose in fourth, 4.7 seconds behind. And then Stanley is chasing down Just Jose. He's only about 0.8 of a second behind him. Then we have Seafreeze and Cam, and 007 Professional and Sir Charles, and Cali Rob holding on to the last points-paying position in tonight's race as Seafreeze there loses another position, this time to a Haas of Cam.
Yeah, Cam's on those soft tires. He's been making a lot of overtakes. 6 laps in, you gotta wonder when they start to fall off. Can he catch up to Stanley and get within DRS?
Alright, so Seafreeze seems to be struggling on these medium tires. Not exactly sure what is going on there, but he is losing positions. He was at one point in P2 in this race, right, in the opening couple of laps, all the way down to P7 at the moment. In front of him is Cam and Stanley is catching up to Just Jose ever so slightly every lap. He is on the medium tires, Just Jose is on the hard. So Just Jose doesn't really have to fight this off too much because he's going to go way deeper into the race before he makes his pit stop anyways. But it's kind of also helping him out right now because Stanley is kind of burning out his batteries down to 30%. He's burning out his tires. He's going to have to pit early. I think this is kind of falling into place for Just Jose with those hard tires. And then when he pits, he's going to have the faster tire out of everybody else around.
Yeah, Jose's in a good position. In regards to Seafreeze dropping positions, I believe that is the AI of Seafreeze, which would explain why he's fallen off from the front of the pack so much.
That's right, yeah.
I'm wondering what's going on with Professional. I didn't notice any issues early on, and he's been in very good form all season, so I'm surprised to see him drop a few positions as well. Sir Charles still hanging on to Professional. can't quite seem to make an overtake stick, but he's in the points. He's running well.
He's gonna have the DRS right now as well to try again, but yeah, unfortunately not quite close enough to make a move. And that back straight with the DRS zone is very, very short. You can't really make anything happen there unless you're right on the rear wing of the car in front of you when you're entering the DRS zone, which is very hard to do as well when you're coming around turn, what is that, turn 9? Alright, so Cam is into the pits. Cam is into the pits from his soft tires. He was the only one to start on the softs, and he's jumping over to a hard tire. So he's doing a one-stop. He's matching up, but he just started off of that soft, and I'm not sure it really worked out for him. But we're going to have to wait and see who else is battling.
He did increase a lot of positions off the start. It was about, I think he gained about 8 positions. This will be a long stint on the hards. I think it'll come down to how well he can manage those tires and make them last.
Yeah, thank you for correcting me there. I missed out on where he actually started in the race, but yeah, I think once everybody pits, he will be in a decent position, but he's about 10 seconds behind Dreamsy. So when pretty much, and Dreamsy is actually on the hards as well. Oh, we have a yellow flag in sector 1, is that?
Oh.
Or sector 3, and that's Jacob giving a hard time to Dreamsy, and also just Jose pulling off on the grass there.
Oh. What happened to Jose?
I am not quite sure. I think he might have had a spin, because he's all the way down to 13th now.
Yeah, that's a shame. We were just talking about how he was in a good position on those hards towards the front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was up in about P6 or P7, somewhere around there, and just dropping down the positions. Not exactly sure what happened, but definitely some sort of an incident. So an update now, lap 10 of 33. It is B-Tom still leading the race. He's about 1.5 seconds in front of Ecos Verstappen. TJ is in third, 2.7 seconds behind. Stanley is in fourth, and Seafreeze in fifth. We're pretty sure Seafreeze is actually an AI car, unfortunately. But still holding on to pretty good pace.
Red Bull really strong showing early on in Barcelona tonight. But we got a nice little battle brewing between Charles, Bats, and Chargers.
Yeah, we're on board with Bats Plus right now. We got a nice little view about, halfway through his halo, and also a little bit of his helmet there, and you can see the car in front of Sir Charles as he's catching up to them. Oh, and their Chargers behind goes a little bit wide on the exit of turn 15, and he had to back off. He might lose a little bit of time there, and might have gotten a warning on the exit.
Oh,
we have a yellow in sector 3.
Jose spun leaving the chicane.
Oh, no. This is very unfortunate for just Jose. He has had a pretty good first third of the race, and now just starting to have some issues.
I thought his tires might be overheating, but from what I can tell on the steering wheel, it looks like they were rather cold, actually.
Yeah, this new game is full of new challenges. The tire temperatures, the handling model, the track limits, everything else like that. Lots of things to manage and think about. And that's why I've always said about this season, it's all going to be down to focus and concentration. Who's going to have that patience, who's going to have that focus, and they're going to be able to make it to the end of the race. A lot of these drivers, hopefully, will be in that category. So far, D-Tom has pretty much had a pretty easy race, but I'll tell you what, Verstappen is starting to catch up, as now Bats Plus goes wide.
Callie Robb just went for a spin, leaving the chicane as he was looking to make a move on Sir Charles. Instead, he dropped about 4 or 5 positions.
Yep, and Bats Plus also had a little bit of a moment there, so he dropped the position. Yeah, that was very sudden.
Kelly Robb, just his second race of the season. Maybe he's still getting that rust off a little bit. That's a dangerous part of the track, though. I definitely spun many times in practice in that same turn.
Yeah, Callie Robb raced with us in round 1 and then hasn't raced since. Very interesting little hiatus there from Callie Robb. Hopefully we'll see him more, but we're now at almost the halfway stage here, and people are starting to kind of build out little gaps in front and behind them. So we only have a couple of people that are still under a second gap, which is Bats Plus, Dreamzy, Chargers, and Sir Charles. That little train that has been going on for a little while now.
With a good amount of field spread here, now's the time to get excited about tire strategy. Who's going to try the undercut? Who's going to stay out and squeeze what they have left on their tires? It's going to be monkey see, monkey do for Verstappen behind B-Tom. I'm really curious to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, still anything could happen. 20 laps to go. Spain is a very tricky track, and we've seen people going for spins here, losing the car. It's very easy to get penalties, but so far everybody has been pretty clean on that part. No safety cars, no VSCs, a few yellow flags, and we've only lost one driver so far, which is HVAC Toaster. Still 14 drivers on the grid going at it. And yeah, I think this could be pretty interesting. So if you guys are still watching here, thank you again so much for all of your support of TCR. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. If you haven't heard, we have just passed 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. We owe it all to you guys, the viewers and the supporters out there. Other than that, make sure you check out the links in the description of the video as well. The links to our website, to our Discord channel, to our merch shop. We've got all kinds of cool stuff in the merch shop as well. There's jerseys, there's hats, there's pants, and all kinds of cool stuff. So check that out, and also check out the link to our affiliate sponsor, Fanatec. If you're looking to get yourself some sim racing equipment, you can check them out and get some really nice stuff from their store. But if you use our link, you'll be supporting TCR in doing so as well. Oh, as Chargers has a moment coming through turn 3, managed to catch it, but unfortunately losing a couple of positions there, and he's out of that battle that he was in. Now Callie Robb is working on his own battle here, which is getting around the AI car of MRL Jacob. Unfortunately, Seafreeze and Jacob got kicked out at the start of the session. Jacob definitely has not been able to come back in. I'm not sure if Seafreeze has been able to come back in or not.
Verstappen's been knocking on that 1 second window with B-Tom in the past lap. He got down to within a tenth of DRS, now back up to 3. It was hovering right around that 1-1, 1-2 for the past lap or two. Let's see if he's got a little more juice left to try and get within that DRS, which at a track like this will help a lot since it's a pretty high downforce track.
Yeah, that would definitely be very exciting to see these two going at it for the lead of the race. Sir Charles is into the pits now after 14 laps on his medium tires. He's the first one kind of out of the starting pack that is pitting now, and he's going over to the hard tires as we kind of predicted. That is the preferred strategy around here. Verstappen is having to use his battery to keep up to B-Tom, and he's only down to about 30% now. So it's going to get challenging in a while here, and a couple more laps to stay with him.
Yeah, B-Tom with 60% battery, not having to push as much. Really, I expect these drivers to get into the pits within, in goes Verstappen. You got to expect B-Tom would go in the next 2 laps or so, most likely. But we saw some drivers really, we saw the main Wayne and Golden last night really stretch those mediums into a medium soft.
So Verstappen is trying the undercut, so is TJ, the teammate of B-Tom, which kind of makes sense. You don't want a double stack on your pit stops. So TJ is in now. Will B-Tom take the bait right away, or is he going to possibly go for an extra lap? He's now got a 20-second gap behind him to Stanley on the medium tires as well, and obviously has to pit again. So we're in for a pretty exciting second half of this race right now, because this is really where it gets interesting. When B-Tom is going to pit, and where is Ecos Verstappen going to be when he comes out of the pits. That's pretty much going to be a deciding factor for the rest of the race here tonight.
Yeah, these are crucial laps here for Verstappen. He's got to get these hards up to temperature without spinning on these tricky corners and try and cover that 1.2 second gap that he was hovering around behind B-Tom. B-Tom's still staying out.
Yeah, he's going for another one. He just set a fastest lap as well. He's definitely feeling pretty comfortable on his medium tires. We're watching a little...
Sorry, it looks like he drained the battery on that one. He was up at 60 when battling Verstappen, down to 14 now. I would think that might be an indicator that he's coming in this lap as well.
Most likely, yeah, absolutely. And also Seafreeze is coming in right now, the AI of Seafreeze. We're not 100% sure yet if he's racing or not. 007 Professional was right behind him, but he's going to get a couple of positions here anyways. Moves up into P5. Let's go back over to B-Tom. He's in the second sector right now. He's about to finish the second sector. Let's see what his time is like right now. How much time is he gaining or losing? He's only down by about a tenth through that sector. So if we kind of multiply that by 3, he's about 4/10 of a second down on his fastest lap time, which is the fastest lap of the race right now. So I think he's keeping up pretty good. He's done 16 laps. Let's see if he's going to pull off into the pits on this occasion. Yes, he does.
He does. All right, this could be a really crucial moment. This is a crucial moment in the race. See where he gets out of those pits and if Verstappen can get in front.
All right, those white striped tires go on. Where is Verstappen? He's coming out of the second part of the chicane. He's going through the last corner now as B-Tom is pretty much coming out of the pits now. He does set a fastest lap, does Verstappen, but it looks like B-Tom is going to hold on to the lead, and he's actually built out a bit more of a gap now. Quite a bit more of a gap, about 2 seconds of a gap.
Those seconds are evaporating now as Verstappen on the much warmer tires is trying to get back into where he was.
Wow, this is going to be very tight between these two. A 2-lap difference in the tire age. But the really crucial part, as you mentioned there, is B-Tom needs to warm up this tire set. They usually come out at around 70 degrees, and you really need them at around 90. So it's going to be about half a lap or so before they even get anywhere close to there. Equals Verstappen building out that gap. We're bringing it down to about 1.8 seconds. So that means that overall B-Tom has still net gained about half a second on that overcut, which is very unexpected for me personally. I thought the undercut would work here better.
Yeah, it's a testament to the pace he has on old tires, and that's all with Verstappen draining his battery down to the single digits currently, desperate to get to that DRS, which would flip this race upside down at this point. B-Tom with 60%, he looks like he has enough to keep bending Verstappen away.
A change of front wing for 007 Professional.
Oh, wow.
That's going to drop him back quite a bit, but he's onto a medium tire and comes out, I think, in P11 or 12, somewhere around there. He's gonna have a lot of work to do if he wants some points here tonight. That's a little bit disappointing there for the Mercedes, considering his teammate is up in P2 and possibly battling for the win here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a bit early to be the first hard tire driver to go into the mediums, but it doesn't seem like it was up to his choice with that wing replacement.
All right, well, guys, send in some more comments into the chat. We never really asked you guys for your predictions, so if you have any, let us know who you think is going to win or be on the podium, or just overall predictions for the race. Let us know if you have any questions about the league or about any of the drivers or the classes, if you're thinking about joining. Anything else you want to say, keep those messages coming in the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out our social medias, check out our Discord. All that great stuff. Let's get this thing active. Into the pits now. Yeah. I love the new livery on the Ferrari race suits and the guys in the pits there with the yellow. I think they should switch over to yellow. Yeah.
I think the Ferrari logo on that rear wing really looks great. If anything were to remain, I would keep that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the little touches of yellow on the rear wing and on the engine case, I really do like that as well. I just think that F1 teams and drivers should have more design freedom over their liveries, over their helmets, their race suits, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't understand why they limit them to say, oh, you're only allowed 4 helmets for the season or something else like that. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so the expression of creativity is always fun to see when teams are allowed to do a one-off livery. In regards to that logo on the rear, I saw one suggestion, I think it was on Reddit, of Carlos should have the yellow and then Charles with the white, to go along with those front tire flaps and the differentiation of their numbers.
Oh, and Bats Plus, he was trying to come into the pits on the exit of the last lap and just got a little bit too throttle happy, spun it, lost a couple of places, unfortunately lost some time as well. But switching over to the medium tires now, and he's gonna come out probably in 13th or 14th place there.
Those medium tires treating professional well. He just set the fastest lap of the race.
So now it's B-Tom in front by 1.7 seconds on Verstappen. So he brought it down to about 1.2 and then now back up to 1.8. It's very interesting. I mean, B-Tom, of course, has so much skill and lots of experience in TCR and in league racing and in sim racing in general. But Verstappen just had that pace, and I'm wondering, where did it go now that they're on the hard tires? Is it maybe the setup that was more kind of leaning towards the mediums?
I think it was the overcut that really made the difference. Verstappen seems to be hovering around the same time before and after, and the one variable was the different strategy. Looks like he got down to 1.4 for a second there. Maybe Verstappen has really warming up to those hard tires and finding tenths in every lap somewhere.
Yeah, and 007 Professional has made an overtake on Chargers before turn 1, up into P8 now. He has had to change his wing. We're not exactly sure where he got the damage, but definitely slowed him up and hurt his race a little bit, but he's making the best of it now with 11 laps to go. Could still have a chance of some decent points here right now. He's an 8th, so that's 4 points. If he gets up to about 6th or 5th, that could be about 10 points there.
Yeah, that could go a long way in the constructors battle. And Cali Rob has yet to pit. He's on 21 lap. Oh, I guess he must have pitted very early. I wonder if he trying to still stretch those to the end. I don't know if that's possible. You might want to go on those softs at some point.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting to see what he's going to decide to do about his tire strategy there. And as you mentioned, the Constructors' Championship, I never really touched on any of the championship leaderboards right now. So it is BTOM leading the Drivers' Championship with 89 points after 5 rounds. 007 Professional in second with 78. Seafreeze in third with 77. Just 1 point separating those two. And then we have Ecos Verstappen in fourth with 58 points. Same TJ with 32. HVAC Toaster with 21. Cam with 18. Stanley and Just Jose tied at 17 points. Bats Plus and Chargers tied at 16. Mebi and Adakov tied at 12. And then looking at team standings, it is Mercedes currently in the lead with 136 points. It could possibly change here today because Red Bull has 121 and they are in a little bit of a better position right now, being in the lead and in third compared to second and eighth of Mercedes. Ferrari with 93 points in third place, and Alfa Romeo in fourth with 33. That's a big gap, 60 points, even for the Constructors' Championship. That is one hell of a gap between third and fourth place. We have Alpine in fifth with 28. Haas moving up a position from last week into sixth with 18 points. Alfa Romeo and McLaren tied at 17. And Williams in ninth at 11 points. AlphaTauri unfortunately moving down a place after last week and only 8 points to their name. Cali Robb has pitted and he's coming out on a medium tire for the last 9 laps of the race or so.
Yeah. Big, like you said, big gap from the top 3 teams in the Constructors. It's kind of reflective of real F1 where Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari are at the top. Funny parallel there. Ferrari in that third position, not the race they would hope for right now with Freeze disconnecting. Chargers getting some points at P8, but today has been all Red Bull with that currently as it stands a double podium, which should be enough to get them the lead. It could get pretty close with Mercedes.
Yeah, I think they're going to close down that gap pretty well. Who's got the fastest lap right now? Let's take a look as we're also watching this battle, kind of a battle between Just Jose and the AI of Seafreeze, and Just Jose is off! Just Jose is off into the gravel at the exit of turn 11. He lost it all by himself.
Unfortunate for Just Jose. He had a great start to the race and has run into a few issues in on this tricky circuit.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate there. Fastest lap currently belongs to 007 Professional with a 119.3.
Verstappen got within a tenth of DRS here. If he gets a good exit on the chicane, he might have DRS on the front straight.
All right, here we go with 8 laps to go. This might get a little bit more exciting here towards the end. I think he's going to be within the DRS. He's just exactly under that 1 second. And wow. Does he have it on this lap? He doesn't have it just... Oh, he does. Yes, he does. He has a DRS. Just Jose, the first one to get a 3-second penalty here tonight with multiple warnings for track limits. And Verstappen now could be on the chase down for the win of the race. So it could still be a double podium for Red Bull, but not in the order that they would prefer. Verstappen with a purple sector 1.
B-Town with the battery advantage, 68 to 22 over Verstappen. That will help, but if the DRS is going to help him drain that too.
Yeah, I think if I was Verstappen right now, I'd use the DRS zones to save up some ERS and not use it at all pretty much. And then hopefully have enough of a charge to give it the beans and go for a move. Right now he's down to 0.8 of a second. He is catching up ever so slightly. Not saving much of a battery. He's only got about 25% right now. but still some time to go. We're only about to start lap 27 of 33, so he's got just enough time.
Taz using ERS on the straight, down to 30, below 30. Keeping that second advantage, really trying to gap the DRS. Will it prove successful?
And he's dropped out of the 1 second gap now after turn 1. Back into it. He's just kind of going back in and out, so he's trying to find the space again, trying to not over push it either, which is a very thin balance.
A little deep into that turn, lost a few tenths. That could really hurt him.
Yeah, as I was talking about the balance there of pushing and not losing it, unfortunately, Verstappen dropped down a little bit, not going to have the DRS in the back straight, but catching up.
Does it seem like the Mercedes is faster in the straight here? All other factors excluded?
I think it might be, but I'll tell you what though, Beatom is extremely quick through the last couple of corners compared to Verstappen. That's where he's losing some time, and then into turn 1 and 2, so chicanes seem to be the issue for Verstappen.
Yeah. The issues in the chicane and the possibly higher speed in the straights would suggest a lower downforce setup, in addition to Beatom having 2-lap younger tires.
So TJ was in P3, pits for soft tires, and gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pits, unfortunately. He's got a huge gap down to Cam, though.
Yeah, he had a free stop.
Let's see if he's going to have enough to overrun that 5-second. I think he might be able to.
You should, especially with Cam on 19-lap-old hards behind him. He should be able to overcome that 5-second penalty. That's not what you want, but Red Bull's going for the fastest lap here.
Absolutely, they are. I'm just trying to do the math here. Beatom with 25 points, TJ with 15. That would be 40. That would be 176 points for, or sorry, 161 points for Red Bull. And Mercedes right now with second, that's 18 points. And Professional in seventh, that's 6 points. So 24. So they would be at 160 exactly. So Red Bull would be 1 point ahead as things stand right now. If they get the fastest lap, they'll be 2 points ahead in the Constructors' Championship. Not too bad.
This is a really fun series to follow along with. Every week, great talent on all teams, but especially those three. You never know who's going to win entering a race.
Absolutely, and after 5 races, we've actually had 4 different winners as well. So I think tonight, though, it's possibly looking like Beatom might take it, but I am not counting Ecos Verstappen out just yet. 4 laps to go. He's going between about 9/10 and about 1.2 seconds behind. So, I mean, and it only takes.
You got the DRS here,
and it only takes 1 corner to spin it around here. 1 touch of a curb. So. He's got to be on it. He's back in the DRS. Let's see if he can put some pressure on Beatom. We have a yellow flag on the start-finish straight. That's just Jose. I think he's retiring in the pits.
Yeah, Verstappen not out of this one yet. He's within the DRS. A few laps to go, and Beatom has a battery advantage, but it's not as much as he had earlier in this battle.
And no DRS on the start-finish straight for Verstappen.
Oh.
He's right at that 1 second gap. He's got barely any battery. Yeah, this is very tricky.
When I looked up, it was 1 second flat. Very on hair-thin margins here between Beatom and Verstappen.
Yellow flag through sector 2 and 3. Is that Dreamsy and Stanley possibly making some contact? Let's see here. Dreamsy might be going for a move on Stanley. Stanley, though, has DRS of his own. Dreamsy's still catching up. Is he going to be close enough to turn 1? No, he's not.
Not there yet. And TJ set the fastest lap as we anticipated he would try to on those soft tires.
And he's got enough of a gap behind him right now to clear that 5-second penalty. Not a bad day overall for Red Bull as it stands right now. But BTOM still needs to hold on if they really want to take the championship lead in the Constructors. But Verstappen still putting on some decent pressure, keeping within the DRS zone just about. 007 Professional here trying to help out Mercedes as well by maybe getting another position or two at the end.
Key to the race here is TJ's got to finish it. He's riding his own race, has fresh soft tires. He just has to keep it between the white lines and get to the black and white line.
All right, couple more laps to go here. Very close in the midfield right now between Cam, Stanley, Dreamzy, 007 Professional. All of them are within DRS of each other. Here comes 007. He's using his batteries down to 3%. Into turn 1, down to 1%. He's going to be side by side, but Dreamzy's going to hold on and defend on that P6. Very nice racing from both Dreamzy and 007 Professional.
Meanwhile, at the front, Verstappen just 0.3 off of BTOM, approaching the front DRS section.
Yeah, we just looked away for a moment, and he's managed to catch up by quite a bit. Not sure exactly if maybe BTOM made a little mistake somewhere, but yeah, Verstappen now right on the rear wing with 2 laps to go.
This is anyone's race here, Blaine.
It absolutely is, and again, if you guys have some predictions, if you think you know how this is going to end, let us know in the chat.
Sorry for interrupting. Verstappen had a great run off of turn 2 and had to lift to not get in the gearbox of BTOM.
Wow, this is getting really down to the wire and extremely tight margins between these two drivers. Red Bull really want this one. They could possibly take the championship lead here today, and right at halfway through the season, that could be a really big motivator for the second half.
Verstappen trying to maintain that lead for Mercedes. It looks like he's lost a few tenths this lap. He was hovering around 0.3 down to 0.5, still within the DRS with the long straight approaching.
And we are going to be starting the final lap of this race. BTOM has done an absolutely immaculate job throughout the whole race. He's done everything correctly, but he just needs to hold on for one more lap and keep Verstappen behind him into turn 1. Verstappen is not going to be anywhere close enough. And catching up though, down to about 0.4 of a second, 3.5. They're making their way through turn 3 for the final time.
He gets spun as Professional overtakes him.
It's a purple sector from Verstappen in sector 1. He's really giving it everything that car has left. And into turns 7 and 8 we go. Ooh, a little bit wiggly there from BTOM. Verstappen kind of capitalizing on it as much as he could. A DRS
Might
zone.
be his best chance left.
BTOM is recovering energy. His rear light is flashing. But Verstappen has nothing else left either. I think this might be it. I think BTOM might be able to hold on to this one. Only got a couple more corners to go. And we get a nice little top view here of how close these two guys got. But there we go. Out of the final corner, BTOM coming across the line. And he wins in Spain for round 6 of the Platinum class in Season 14. Congratulations to BTOM and Red Bull. Verstappen in a P2 and on the podium. TJ still holding on to P3. Stanley and 007.
Verstappen's teammate, Professional's not done fighting for positions yet. He's in a tight battle with Stanley. Almost had it. Oh, he overtook on the DRS straight. However, could not make it stick and got wobbly out there on that turn. That looks like he will not be coming out with that extra points.
I tell you what, though, Dreamsy did spin it and gave up a position to double seven professional, so he ends up in sixth, which is an extra, what is that, couple of points or an extra point for Mercedes? What do you get for sixth? 8 points, right?
Um, Possibly. Dreams, you did mention spun. It may or may not have been due to contact with professional. Um, that might come back in the ticket. We'll have to see. Uh, what a race, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Spain, 3 days in a row this week did not disappoint whatsoever. We had eventful races, action packed from start to finish, and it's all been to different factors. Today, it's just been really good strategy games, really great overtaking. Yesterday, there was a lot of incidents, there was a lot of chaos going on. On Tuesday, we had weather playing a part in everything. So I think this week all around has been absolutely amazing. Cam gets driver of the day as B-Tom gets the win here tonight. We're going to see them celebrating on the podium in just a second.
Yeah, great clean racing from the drivers today, and it wasn't the race with the most overtakes possibly, but watching the fractions of a second between B-Tom and Verstappen, like that's the type of racing I like to watch sometimes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed that one as well as we see the champagne being sprayed up on the podium there. Great job and great drive from all of those drivers. And we're going to hear from them in just a moment as well in our post-race or interviews.
I'm inviting them to the cool down room as we speak.
Awesome. All right. So let's take a look at the results once again. It is B-Tom in the Red Bull with the win and a double podium for Red Bull with B-Tom and TJ in first and third. Verstappen splitting the two Red Bulls in second place. The fastest lap of the race goes to TJ as well, so Red Bull gets an extra point in their Constructors' Championship. If I'm not mistaken, that means that after this race, Mercedes and Red Bull are going to be exactly tied on points. It's going to be fourth place for the House of Cam. Amazing race from him from 14th to 4th. Definitely deserving of the driver of the day. Stanley in 5th, 007 Professional in 6th, Dreamsy in 7th, Charger in 8th. We have Cali Rob in 9th. Bats Plus got the last point of the race here in 10th. Seafreeze, as he was the AI card, did get disconnected out of the points anyways. Sir Charles in 12th. Jacob in 13th. Just Jose and HVAC Toaster did not finish tonight's race. But yeah, I mean,
Cam's a really deserving driver for the driver of the day. He took the risk starting on softs, made many overtakes early on to put him in a position to stretch those hards to the end to a P4 and a great finish.
yeah, absolutely. There's other people who started down low as well that ended up finishing pretty well. You've got Stanley who started 10th and ended up 5th. We have Dreamsy from 11th to 7th, Chargers from 15th to 8th, and Cali Rob from 12th to 9th. Not a bad day for those drivers at all. I think overall, though, the Platinum class here tonight definitely delivered quite a good race. I think we probably will start racing at this track more often now. It's been 4 seasons since we've been racing around here, and this week really, it was a great show. If you guys have been watching all along, again, thank you so much for your support. Send in some more comments, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Check out the links in the description. I think we've got our drivers in the interview room already. I guess let's start with TJ. Can you hear us?
I can do that.
Awesome, TJ. Well, congratulations. What a drive from you tonight. Started 6th and you are in 3rd place. Did the 2-stop strategy. Looked like you switched over to the the softs at the end. You had pretty much a free stop, but did get a 5-second penalty. Also got the fastest lap though, and enough of a gap to keep that 3rd place. How was the race from your perspective here tonight?
Boring. Alone. After lap 1, I was just, driving by myself, very silent, and my teammate had ridiculous straight line speed. think I was running more downforce than they did. And I would get into the corners, and when we get to the straight, he's pulling 2 tenths. Like, I'm like, wait, hold up, something ain't right. But yeah, at that, I think after the pit stop, I realized, oh, I can't fight for second place. And then I looked at the gap to the guy behind me, and I saw that I had a chance to take a pit stop. I totally forgot to brake harder for the pit entry. So when I got there, I'm like, oh shit, I got a 5 second penalty. Because I think I was 2 miles per hour over the speed limit. So yeah, but I had to get to, so I think even if I got behind, I had the fresher tire and the softer tire to pull the gap, so it was fine.
And next week we are going to, is it Italy and Monza? How
Yep,
you
correct.
feeling about that one?
Well, not so sure yet. Just gotta practice more, especially in my race pace.
All right, Chibar, did you have any questions for TJ?
I do. I have a question. TJ, do you smell bad?
Do I smell bad? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I'm
Trying to
sweating
figure
right
out
now.
why there was a minimum 10-second gap between you and all the other drivers, and that's the only conclusion I came to.
What are you trying to say? I'm scaring people away with my odor?
That would explain the gaps, yes.
Uh, yeah,
All right.
Congratulations on the podium.
thank you.
Yeah, congrats on P3. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, let's jump over to the Mercedes of Ecos Verstappen.
I don't
Getting
believe we
some.
have him, actually.
Oh, that's not good. Let me see if I can possibly try and add him in here. Oh, he is added. So he just hasn't joined. Well, that's disappointing.
Must be out of breath from that battle with B-Tom.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to wish him big congratulations as well on a great drive here today. Got P2, stuck to his one-stop strategy, started fifth, and made up some good positions in the race. Was putting some pressure on Beatom there for quite a while, but just didn't have enough laps, I think, and didn't have enough battery. I think he used up a little bit too much right before that pit stop. But he will be moving up a couple of positions in the standings, and yeah, good job for Mercedes there. I think they're gonna tie on points with Red Bull, so just about holding on to the lead of the championship. But we'll jump over to the other Red Bull, and that is B-Tom, our two-time platinum champion, and now going to be a three-time winner in this season as well. Your third win, and it comes at a very, very difficult track with a lot of pressure behind you. How do you feel about this one?
I feel pretty good. Going into it, I took a risk with the setup. I just wanted to try something because qualifying typically hasn't been my strong suit, so I've tried to set it up a bit more for the race. Um, and I kind of got it to work at the last minute. The rear was still incredibly unstable in turn three and in turn seven, um, but it was stable enough for me to keep control of it. So um, somehow I put it on pole. Don't know how that happened, but after 6 races, I've finally gotten a pole. So, yeah. And then as for the race, it was relatively straightforward. I think I had really good pace at the start of stints, but towards the end, Silence started to reel me in. I'm not really sure if that's down to tire wear or what, but if I had to guess, that's probably what it is. Um,
And yeah, the same question for you as well about Italy. Monza coming up, the Temple of Speed. How do you feel about that one?
I don't know yet. I really haven't driven Monza that much on this game, so I don't know what to expect. I do know that from like the time I've spent around here on this game, I stuck at the Parabolicas. So I'll try and wrap my head around that for the race. But no, I think it's no different from any other race. It's just 26 points on offer, so you always try and go out and score those. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, Chibar, your questions for our winner here tonight.
Yeah, congrats, Taz, on the win. You're the only repeat winner in the Platinum class this season thus far. As an accomplished driver, you were hovering around that 1 second gap with Verstappen, and at one point, Verstappen got within DRS and was starting to make moves. What's going through your head, and how do you defend against that?
Just try and hit your marks, really. Don't really worry so much about the car behind unless you're close enough to overtake you. And he never really got close enough because I didn't really give him the chance to. So, um, yeah, I think you should really only start thinking about it when they're truly in striking range, and then some of it just comes down to how much ERS you have and how you use it in those final few laps because it can be pretty important. I think we saw that in Britain on the last lap, um, with how close it can be and how ERS can make the difference. But yeah, didn't really feel too much pressure. So yeah, I don't know what else to say.
All right. Well, yeah, sounds good. I was taking notes. I was writing this all down for when I may take a lead one day. Thank you. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, congrats again on another win. Good luck to you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks. Well, after a
Well, we got
very
Verstappen in here, actually.
Yeah,
oh, we do.
he's at the party.
Did he
He just
join?
joined in.
Oh, very
Mm-hmm.
nice. Okay, let's jump over to the Mercedes of Ecos Verstappen. So, congrats on P2. I think you started in fifth or sixth. Managed to make up some good positions. Very close to Beaton there at the end. We were kind of hoping we would see that battle right at the end there. What was missing from that? What do you think was it? Was it the battery? Was it the tire wear setup? Anything else?
I don't think anything was missing. This is just a show of when you see two very well balanced and practically equal on par drivers, nobody can really eke out a true advantage because no matter what you saw between Taz and I, at one point he was pulling, at one point I caught him back and I reeled him in. So it's just racing, and I think between the two of us, probably on raw pace, probably the quickest ones, and that's just how it's going to be. You can't really squabble too much because neither of us are making mistakes if we're quickest on track, and yeah, it's just kind of how it goes. Difficult to make a move, difficult to push each other into mistakes because neither of us end up feeling any sort of pressure from either of us because we know. But yeah, just consistency and both of us being as quick as we can be kind of leads to stagnation like this sometimes.
And were you kind of surprised? Because we definitely were when Beatom made the overcut work by 2 laps.
Absolutely not. That's part of the mechanic in this game. What happens is even if you do the overcut, what happens is usually it balances itself out. So yeah, like okay, he's gonna be on cold tires for like a lap or two, but after that it's equalizing, and like he only gained what 2 or 3 tenths at the end of it. So I mean, it was really nothing if whether he did the overcut on me or not, or whether he did the undercut even, because even then I could have deployed a little bit more and gone quicker on my mediums. So. It was just a matter of who shot first, who blinked.
All right, Chibar, your questions.
Yeah, my original question was going to be about that under overcut situation as well. It looked to us like you may have lost about 3 or 4 tenths of a second actually through that, which is a small fraction of a second, but could have been the difference between some of those DRS zones. I did have a different question, however. Uh, oh,
Yeah, 3 or 4 tenths is negligible.
I don't know there was many times you're on that DRS zone with a thousandth of a second beyond DRS, but overall, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was my question. So yeah, congrats on the good drive. You put yourself in a position to possibly fight for a win, but nevertheless, P2, big points for Mercedes. Congrats.
Yep. How about we turn off crossplay, huh?
Well,
It's
that's
messing us
something
up.
we were talking about. The little issues that have come up through crossplay, and hopefully those will get solved. But I mean, overall, great drive here today. You are definitely in the run for the drivers' championship, the constructors' championship. So good luck for the rest of the season.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, now that we've heard from all of our drivers, we can end it off. Quick reminder was B-Tom as the winner, Ecos Verstappen in second place, and TJ in third in the other Red Bull. So double podium here tonight for Red Bull. If my calculations are correct, they're going to be tied on points with Mercedes for the Constructors' Championship after tonight. And we've got one more race next week before we take a break in the halfway point of the season. Next week, as I mentioned, we're going to Monza in Italy, the Temple of Speed. We're going to have a blast over there. I'm sure it's going to be a great race. But to everybody watching, huge thank you guys. Check out the links in the description to our website, to our Discord channel, to our affiliate sponsor Fanatec, to our merch shop, and everything else. All the other information is down there. Chibar, massive, massive thank you for joining me in the booth here tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I think it was a really great, fun race for us in the commentary booth here tonight as well. Hopefully, we'll see you in the booth sooner in the season.
I appreciate that. I look forward to that day.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it here tonight. And for this week of racing and TCR, it was probably one of the most exciting weeks we've had so far in this season. So if you guys have missed out on any of the races, make sure you go check them out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We've just passed 500 subscribers, which is absolutely unbelievable. It's really awesome. Hopefully, we'll get the next 500 a little bit quicker. But help us out with that. Share out the video. Leave some more comments. Check out our social medias. All that great stuff. And stay up to date with us because we're going to be back here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week at the same time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's going to be for Silver, Gold, and Platinum class in round 7 at Monza. So for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you very soon. Have a great night.